Hello and welcome to this week's presentation. Our last video was focusing on educational websites for teachers. This week we are going to look at educational blogs that will be beneficial for teachers. Before we continue into this presentation, I want to apologize if there are any crickets in the background due to recording this outside. Alright, let's go ahead and look into this presentation. The three educational blogs that we're going to be looking at today is the first one is Class Tech Tips, the second one is Teacher Toolkit, and the third one is Pear Deck. I personally have gone through all of these and will research and look up blogs that for certain issues that I'm having within my classroom or just personal stuff I want to look for within these blogs. Alright, so we're going to look at the first one, which is Class Tips. Alright, some advantages of this website is that there are different learning approaches and strategies that teachers can use to go about the situations that they are researching blogs about. The whole blog website created as a whole was created and constructed by an educator herself, who is also now an ed tech consultant. So all of the material and blogs and resources that are within this blog and website come actually from an educator herself. And the other advantage is that there's not only blogs. She has blogs and podcasts. So, for those rainy days or lazy days where you don't really want to read a whole blog, you can go ahead and listen to a podcast that she has. Now, this is a great site, and I myself couldn't find really any disadvantages or critiques to it. But the two that I kind of came up with is that you need internet access in order to access it. As it is on a website, websites require internet, so this might be hard if you don't have any internet access. And the other kind of critique or disadvantage that it has is that even though it is created by one person, this creates kind of like a single person viewpoint on some of her blogs. As in other blogs you'll see later, there are multiple writers throughout the blog. But other than that, this is a great site. Like I said, couldn't really hardly find advantages. The site is easy to navigate, and there's multiple resources that you can use. Like I said, there's blogs, podcasts, and different approaches that you can use to it. Now going on to the second blog, we are going to look at Teacher Toolkit. Alright, so some advantages and disadvantages of Teacher Toolkit. We're going to take a quick look at the advantages first. Alright, so the first one is that it makes educational technology or any other type of educational resource that may be challenging to more of a simple light version for teachers. This is really easy and great for those teachers who may not understand longer, challenging wording of things, or just need something easily and quick, simple, that they can quickly come to this blog and find their answer. Another great thing about this site is that the information is meaningful and engaging, and anything that you take out of the blogs from this site will want your students to engage and participate in the classroom activity. Just like the previous blog, Teacher Toolkit also has not only blogs, but podcasts, and they post about 3 of those within a week. So they have almost 3 new blogs or podcasts every single week. And another great thing about this blog is that not only do they have blogs and podcasts, but they also have additional resources that you can use within your classroom. And just as like the previous blog, Teacher Toolkit, has some disadvantages or critiques, but I couldn't really find overly much. But this is what I have for the disadvantages. Alright, it does require a membership if you want more of a variety of materials and blogs to go through. They do have a free version though, in case you don't want to spend that money, but if you want to get more of a widespread blog to look about, you need to get the membership. Also, the videos that they have on their website are YouTube based, so if your school has blocked YouTube for any number of reasons, you have to find another source for those videos to play through, because they are all YouTube based. Like I said, those are only really two critiques that I could find about this website. Overall, it's a great website, a lot of blogs, a lot of different authors. I would definitely recommend this blog. Now, the third one we're looking to is to Pear Deck, and this one specifically has multiple sources of blogs for digital citizenship. So not only does it have good blogs for digital citizenship, it has additional resources you can use to teach digital citizenship, or even any other educational activity or thing that you may need within the classroom. And a lot of their blogs focus on communication, collaboration, and critical thinking between the material that you're doing and how your students are interacting with that material. Just as the other two blogs had disadvantages or critiques, but they were kind of hard and had to dig into it, same goes with Pear Deck. The two that I found were that Pear Deck tends to take time to get used to for some people, to navigate and go through, and that it's not all device compatible. I mean, it is compatible, but like if you're trying, it's harder to navigate and go through if you're trying to use it on a phone. Like the best way to use this blog is through a laptop or any type of computer. Overall, it's a great blog to use, and like I said myself earlier in this presentation, I intend to use these blogs and podcasts in the future for any concern that I have, or just interest within the classroom setting. I would go ahead and use these 3 blogs to find my answer. And here's my references if you'd like to pause. Each slide where I have any type of advantage or disadvantage has their citation on it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation and look at my facts. Hope you have a great rest of your day.